He was initially going to speak today about cyber scams and how to avoid them, but there's been a change, so I'm going to introduce Brett, and then he is going to actually introduce our speaker, Dana Hanson. After co-founding, drumming, touring, and recording with the band Mango Jam, Brett went back to school at Brown Institute to learn more about computer technology and security. During school in 1998, he started interning for Passkey Technology and ended up staying and is now co-owner with his wife of Passkey, an IT service provider and cybersecurity firm in Golden Valley. In addition, Brett sits on numerous boards and technology committees. So welcome, Brett. Come on up and you can introduce Dana.
That was funny.
Speaking into the microphone, I hope that was picked up. I'm not
It
sure.
didn't. It's not turned on, I don't think.
I can talk.
Oh, it's not turned on?
No, we actually do need it turned on if we can.
Yeah, because you want to record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So turn it
No,
on.
good idea.
The switch is on the top, I think. Oh, is it on? Maybe it is on.
Yeah, sounds like it. Let's make it a
I
noise.
should talk into
I
it.
can kind of hear it.
No, it's not on.
Hello?
Wait, no, maybe that's just the noise of the...
Yeah, it did sound like it was amplified though.
Yeah.
You buy fake mail.
There we go. Thank you.
It's amazing what they can do.
Makes for a better recording when you're over to the side doing that.
Okay.
Sorry, nobody knows who you
I
are
think
now.
this should go up just a little. There we go. Okay, yes, so Shep did ask me if I'd come in, and then he told me the topic, or actually Peggy and Shep, and then Dana here does these all the time for us. He's kind of the guy, which is funny because I used to do them, right? I did like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and then I was like, there's a lot of them, so I gave Dana the slide deck, and he just took it and ran with it. So yes, thank you for having both of us in here, and especially letting Dana do his thing here. So Dana's been in the IT industry for close to 25 years. Dana's been with Passkey for 6 years, the greatest 6 years of my life. His role is a network engineer, but he's so much more than that. So he's a consultant. He's just got, I want to say, infectious personality where he just really connects with people and is able to explain things at a layman's level, and he just does a great job of connecting with clients. So he's way more than just a network engineer, but he's a good one at that too. And he does a lot of cybersecurity. He, as I said, handles all our on-site IT security trainings for our customers with a focus on phishing prevention and other scams. So, and then fun fact, he also enjoys golfing a lot. And he enjoys it a lot, and he golfs a lot, so both of those. And then long walks on the beach, and I am with you on that. So let me, please let me introduce Dana Hanson.
All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. So cybersecurity is going to be the focus today. Now, normally these are about 60 minutes long. We're going to do it in 30 minutes, so try not to do it at warp speed. The main thing is questions. If you have any questions along the way, just shoot your hand up. That's the best time to ask them. If you save them towards the end, then they're usually gone. But it's most beneficial for everyone if you can just ask them when you think about them. So we kept it pretty general today. So this first deck here, this first slide, shows the overview. IT security training is a moving target on both sides. So it's kind of a net gain, both good and bad. Bad guys move forward, good guys move forward. Threats rise, tech companies beat them. New threats on the landscape, AI. That is a huge one. So we don't really know where that one's going yet. There's a lot of stuff coming out about that will be interesting to see where it goes. First question. OG. What does OG stand for?
Original.
Yeah. So OG attacks.
Guard.
Yeah, there you go. It's
Okay, that's probably what he meant.
Yeah. The OG attacks, they keep coming back. We beat them in technology, but the things where the scams are the simplest are the scams that work. And so we're going to talk about that, and you'll never be able to get those out of people because it comes down to social engineering and just calling and relying on your trust factor. And we can't eliminate trust as a human race, so they're always going to work. But what we can modify is our behaviors. We don't have to live in a world of complete cynicism, but we can change our behaviors a little bit. Yes, Brian?
Yeah, as a matter of convention, can we just say, oh, geez, original gangster?
We can. Yes, we can. I believe this is a very chill crowd, so I think we can go with that. Seeing a lot of old school attacks, we're not going to get complacent. A lot of our clients are letting people into their PCs every day, and these are really smart people. And so it just catches you on a bad day or wears you down. So that's what we're going to kind of focus on. As that last bullet point says, awareness of technology, that's some of it, and awareness of behavior is most of it. These are normally the 5 sections we concentrate on. We're just going to try to hit those 3 of them here. Phishing attacks, passwords, what goes into a good password, an authenticator, and then maybe a little bit mobile device security if we have time. Phishing. Everybody knows the word when it's spelled with a PH, right? What phishing is. They want your credentials. They don't want to find your credentials in a data dump from 2 years ago, 3, 5 years ago. They want you to give them to them fresh. They are brand new and current as of that moment once you enter them in. And they sell these. It's a nice industry. They have a rate on these. They have a whole industry set up. So the good news is we are getting better about caring. The word is finally getting into us. We used to have the same password for Netflix and for everything, and it was your dog's name. We're using, like Brian was talking about earlier, we're using random generated passwords, so we are getting better. The results here of getting caught in a phishing scam, it's kind of nice to review the consequences because it kind of heightens our alertness. It's never a good look when spam gets sent out of your business account to all other clients and it has your name on it. It kind of goes from least to worse. The second worst one is loss of data. We see this. We've been part of some really big issues, either in the form of files, even money. They have taken money, and then ransomware, where they lock up your whole stuff and they want X amount of millions in Bitcoin, and here starts the fight on that. So all of that comes from your credentials. We're going to kind of go through the types of phishing here, but real quick, just the highlighted ones. You used to get that one email that would come, it didn't pertain to you, you deleted it. They're getting very good about adding your name to these. Spear phishing. So spear phishing is where they know about you. How do they know about you? LinkedIn, social media, they have web crawlers, AI. So it's getting a little bit harder when they come right at you, come right at your place of employment. The big one there, business email compromise. They get the CEO or they get somebody, they look on the website, they find who's important, they get their credentials, they get in there and maybe they sit in that email box for a while. Maybe they look at the calendar and eventually they send out invoices, they send out emails. Well, it comes from your boss. People aren't inclined to nope their boss on things, so that one does a lot of damage, and we see that one quite a bit, actually. Just some stats. You could go forever on stats. 65% of cyber criminals use this as their main attack. So that's how good it is. That's how well it works. US and UK, 47%, nearly half. Why did they fall for it? Distraction. So that is kind of the name of the world we live in right now, right? Distraction. You're in a shopping market line. You're looking at your email, because there's never a moment where we're not looking at our phones, but the line is moving, or we're driving, or we don't put our thought into it because we move too fast these days. So that is on their side. They're not necessarily very clever. They're just taking advantage of your distracted state. Simulated phishing emails. That's kind of interesting. Businesses will do this. We do this for clients. We send out fake phishing attempts. Here the stats are showing that 50% are opened. Now sometimes when you open one of these, you see like a link, right? Hey Brian, enter your credentials, and you go, oh, I'm not doing that. Well, that's 50% open them. But it's interesting, another 30% went on to click that link or that attachment, and they were bent on following through with this. So that's why these things work so well. And again, why are they successful? Speed and distractions. Our mobile devices. There's been nice upgrades with your mobile devices. Outlook recently unveiled a new set of features that makes it easier to spot these while you're looking at your phone. But up until maybe a year ago, it was really hard to see these, and that's what they were counting on. This next part, we're going to slow down a little bit on 3 hallmarks of phishing. So these are the 3 big hooks on phishing. One of them will always be in play, usually all 3 of them. So if we can get our minds wrapped around these, then we're going to know. And then you were talking about these emails that we get already and how something's wrong with them. These are the 3 identifiers. Authority is number 1. It comes from a known identity. If it's at work, it's your boss, it's your HR department, it's payroll, it may be a client of yours. It's a company we use. It's a company we do have an account with, Netflix, Amazon, any one of these. So there's always, it's not unknown. They're always masquerading behind a little authority. There's some sort of conflict, problem, fear. Your packages is not coming, your payroll check will not be cut this week, your Amazon package, blah, 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 your Netflix
Your account is
account.
being closed.
Yeah, everything, the sky is always falling in these things. And we're getting better about knowing that these are scams. But it's very nice that they always offer a quick resolution. Just click here, put in your credentials, we will help you out in this case. So we've got so many more stories on this, but one we see in a business aspect is HR will email you and ask, and maybe ask for a submitted W-2 or a payroll form, or someone will reach out and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, please send my check here. So lots of, something always falls into the parameters of these 3 things.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Like on Facebook, I kept getting maybe it was Messenger or something, but a friend of mine, and she was a friend's sister, but I knew her too, and she kept sending me a message saying, I want to talk to you, give me a call. And what is the benefit of that?
Yeah, so that is actually something called pig butchering, which is which is a really funny term. I didn't want to drop that one, but yeah, it's Asian in nature and it has a long backstory. It has to do with the time needed to groom a pig, to fatten it up, and then to butcher it needed. And so what they're doing that, I get the WhatsApp
You're not
ones.
calling me a pig, are you?
No,
Nothing
not
personal,
at all.
Mary.
Not at all, Mary. But what they do is they're just grooming you so there's no way to stop a text or a Facebook message or a WhatsApp with, hi, how are you doing? How was your day today? That's kind of what you're getting, call me. There's no attachment or anything, but they're looking to strike up a relationship. So at times, if you text back and nothing's gonna happen, but they get an incredible amount of money from people who are lonely. After a while, this friendship, and it starts off very, it's fake, but a month of talking to people and you'd be surprised at how much money you will give them. And so, and a lot of those are interesting. Those aren't even real people anymore. Those are AI. So a lot of times, I feel most accounts on Facebook are fake now. They're all AI. Whenever I list anything on Marketplace, I can count on most of them being hacked. So I will look at the profile, I'll see their current rate of activity. Grandma's suddenly emailing me about my guitar pedal for sale. and she hasn't been in her account in 6 years. And suddenly she's very active, so yeah, Facebook Marketplace, all of these things, if you sense it's odd, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
very, very good. Here's one we see often, PayPal. And yeah, it's going to be PayPal, it's going to be Facebook, it's going to be one of these. Now, I don't know if you can see the top. I'm going to point to it. Yeah.
I can't see.
See, yeah, and the address there says service@intl.paypal.com, and then it even gets stranger after that. ePayPal at Outlook. So if you can expose the actual address. Now this is easy on a PC, right? You had Outlook, but they now let you do it on your phone too. So if you have Outlook on your phone, if you long hold the address, it will show you the real deal. So it's kind of our first stop, right? We want to.
And sometimes it's just off by one letter.
Yes.
So it might say Costco.com and there's 2 S's.
Yes.
So you really do have to be careful.
Yeah, and that's why if you have it down at all, don't figure it out on the spot.
Yeah.
Just leave it and then go home, get out of the car or the supermarket line, and then figure it out later when you can analyze it. Yeah.
I think my text messages tell me whether that person is in my contacts or not.
Okay.
You know, so,
Oh, that's interesting.
hi, how you doing if this person is not in your contacts?
Yeah. Yeah, and that would be a case of technology actually getting the leg up. You know, big tech keeps trying to make it better. So, yeah.
You keep talking about Outlook, what do you think of Google?
Gmail.
Yeah.
I'm not a super fan of Gmail, but
Okay.
yeah, but nothing wrong with it. It's just not. It's not as technically proficient as Outlook. Microsoft is number one for what they do because they are the best.
I hate my.
Yeah. You're gonna, you know, the problem is you're gonna get in with some infrastructure, right? It's either gonna be Apple or Google or Microsoft. There's no way to avoid them anywhere. So they all got their pros and cons.
I just got something from PayPal yesterday. And what I usually do if I'm suspicious of something is I look to see who sent it. And if it says paypal.com, I'm more inclined to believe that this is real. But is that necessarily the case?
Not necessarily. If you see up here, I'm going to point to it. This part versus this part. They can make this say whatever they want it to. But this part, this is the real one. And you can
What
see
does
that
it say?
this one says service at International PayPal. So it's a little messed up still, but it gets really messed up here. PayPal spelled all weird. So expose it to the best of your ability, look on it, but if you feel, now sometimes it does actually come from them. It might come from Brian's account. Brian might be hacked. And so what do you do then? You know, get rid of it. You know, or log into PayPal. Just go to the actual website, log in, use your MFA, you know, get to the root of it that way. So, or call if you need to. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's really no one technique that works. You kind of need a little arsenal of them. Here's another example. This is the example that I took from my cell phone, showing that you can now on your phone click the top, and you can get that part.
Don't click on the attachment.
Yes, exactly.
Just click on who sent it to
Yep,
you.
exactly. The little CA there, if you hold it on your phone, and I think all phones are getting this way now, it will show you. It didn't used to show you, you'd have to really dig for it, but how to detect. So this is kind of like the overview here. It has a link. It wants you to give up your credentials. So before you type them in, ask, why am I entering my credentials? Can I just go to Amazon.com? You know, why do you, I used to say to my mother, it's very possible to live a long and successful life without clicking on a link in an email. She doesn't believe me. She still enjoys clicking. Well, they've given me a link, I'm gonna go right there. But Mom, if you're on YouTube, I'm sorry. But just go to the website if you need to verify an account. The second one is getting better. Spelling errors, lack of punctuation, or poor phrasing. They're actually getting very good now through AI of speaking whatever language you want them to be. Somebody mentioned this earlier, the hyperlinked URL. It's different from one that is displayed if you hover your mouse on it or long click on it. It might say Costco.com, but then it becomes kind of messed up, you know, and it's another country or something. There's threatening or uncharacteristic language. There's always a problem with something. This one is funny. Please do something different than usual. The number of people that have bought iTunes cards for their boss.
Yeah.
Brett has never asked me to buy an iTunes card, and I would call you if you did. But it happens, right? I got a really good horror story on that one time, but I don't even think we have time. Yeah, it happens. And sometimes bad people linger in mailboxes. Sometimes they are actually sending out of that mailbox. Now this is normally like a personal one, right? I'm in your mailbox and I'm sending out. So that case, just pick up the phone or start a fresh email or text them or something. But another example, you've got the, Wells Online Bank 2 at Comcast. Wells Fargo has been suffering from people fake calling now too, so that's that OG attack that we were talking about. They will call you, and they did this to my wife's coworker. She got calls from Wells Fargo, she stepped through it, and they started draining her bank account on the spot. And so she got an alert on her phone, so she left work and had to go take care of that. That was a phone call. So we can never, in our efforts to look forward, we always kind of have to keep an eye on the past too and what's happening.
We knew she had a Wells Fargo account.
Or they were just blindly, blind
got
squirrel
lucky.
nut thing, yeah, it
Wow.
just, yeah. Yeah, so stop, think before you click, that's the whole thing here. Speed is on their side, it's not on your side, so we go slow, we have antivirus, we have spam filters. This stuff is more for like the business aspect of it. But yeah, do you know the sender? If you're are you really expecting an attachment? Sometimes our curiosity, oh, what's this PDF? I gotta know. But, so these things are just really common sense. Any questions on phishing before we move on?
Is the key really that you don't want to open any link? Or is it just bad looking at the email or whatever?
Due to modern antivirus and Outlook stopping things and Gmail stopping things, the problem is not with the email anymore. They very seldom send out viruses or anything like that. Sometimes it gets through. It's not a good idea, but if you do open it and you see a link, you so far have not done anything wrong. If you click the link, now you're starting to get on thin ice.
Yeah.
But even then, your firewall might stop it. It's normally the entering of stuff. But however, some websites, you click them, they download things just automatically. So, yeah, probably best not to. It's like picking up a hitchhiker, you can get by with it for a while, but so this one was kind of what you were saying. During the pandemic, I saw this one live, health.state.mn.us. I was out at a client and they had a site for heath.state. They dropped the L, and it was a completely perfect mock-up of the state of Minnesota's Department of Health. It was so good. And you just had to log in. I don't know what happened when you logged in, when it turned fake, but at that point it's too late for you. So that's a tough one, but it is out there. So.
Now, I didn't see the Heath, but I saw US, and normally you don't have state.mn.us, you have state.mn.
Yeah. This one had a comma on the end, which is commercial. So they are, if you're really clever, you can spot them, but it can be tough. So, one last bit here: use unique passwords for everything, if at all possible. Some people say, "Oh, how do I do that?" But Brian was talking about generating them from your browser. And so that's really the best way to do it. Windows or your browser will suggest them. People say, is that safe? Well, it is if your master account is locked up. So your Google account, your Gmail account, if your Gmail password is really good, nobody has it, they're not logging in and getting all of your Chrome passwords. Same way with Microsoft. It's always going to come down to one account when you do that. And so that one should have MFA on it, which is multi-factor. A password that if someone tries to get into, you get a text, you get a call, use an app on your phone. Just this week, Microsoft is letting you do Outlook. Did you see that, right? Yeah, so Outlook is now your authenticator. I actually went passwordless on my Microsoft account. There is no password to it anymore. So if you don't have a password, you can't hack it. Now it's just app driven. So I'm sure they'll get it that way soon someday too. But where do they get your passwords from? They get them from data breaches. So you can be the most clever person alive. You have a really great password, you don't give it out. but then a company gives it out, and Target gets hacked, you know, Costco gets hacked, and now it's out there on the dark web. Just a fun one here. This one just happened, the mother of all breaches, end of January this year, so just, 2 months ago. 12 terabytes of data, 26 billion records were leaked. And it was a conglomerate, it wasn't one company, they had them all, Twitter, Dropbox. They stumbled upon this, one of the government security services stumbled upon it on the internet, just randomly found a stash of 12 terabytes of passwords that had been out there. Some were old, but some were really fresh too. So, yeah, and that second one, that one's a fun one, Brett. This company you would pay them to verify if your emails were correct. Like, I want to blast this out, here's some emails, are they correct? So they had massive lists, they had 982 million people that were verified correct, and then they got hacked. And so gender, names, date of birth, everything went out the door on that one. So that's why the random generated passwords are the best, because you can't keep them really secret anymore. So yeah, this is just a site of all of them. This is a peek into the dark web where they can look at your passwords. They're blurred out for our effect, but they don't blur them out. They see them. So if you're using a repeating password, the point is they can trail back to you. So if your app allows you to do a random one, it's for the best. This is a website. If you're interested, it is a legitimate website. If you want to take a picture of it, you can. You can go here. It's the engine behind both Edge and Chrome's password verification checking system, so they are good. You just put in your email, and it tells you if you've been associated or your address has been associated with a breach of any sort, and then you can go and change your password. But if you use a modern browser, they'll tell you that too, though. Chrome will tell you, Edge will tell you, please change your password. So.
Does that mean pond?
Sorry.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a hacker term, pwn. I never can explain it because I'm not a hacker. Brett, do you know?
I think somebody made it up, so if you're owned, it means somebody hacked you, like OWNED. And somebody just, I think it's like you say, a hacker term, like slang, you know, like.
Is it an
you're so-
OG term?
You've been, yeah. You know,
Your kids are
you've
getting
been pwned, you know, so.
The same old thing about passwords. Nothing interesting here due to sake of time. But use of password programs. You know, they're free. You can Google them. There's a bunch of names. Be careful what you Google, but there is KeyPass, LastPass, 1Password. They can stay on your PC and they can keep all your passwords, RoboForm, but don't lose that 1Password again, or they're all gone. But how are we doing for time? We got about
2 minutes?
10 minutes?
A little
Okay.
less than.
This is more an awareness thing, authenticator apps. So these are apps that keep your passwords on your phone, and then you need to authenticate them. So I'm going over the web, and I'm just going to show you from here. This is my personal Microsoft account, so my personal Outlook account. I've had it for years. I took a snippet of time to see where people were trying to hack my account from, and this is every single day, and I guarantee it's your accounts too. Russia, Bahrain, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, El Salvador, Thailand, Vietnam, India. So every day, and those are all the unsuccessfuls. Now, if they had my password, all those people are in. And it's an Outlook account, right? Which means it ties to OneDrive. So now they have my pictures, they have my documents, they have my backup from my PC, they have your whole life. So, with multi-factor setup, and you can do this with bank accounts, you can do this, everyone offers it now. They get my password, they still got to get a code somehow. And the code comes to my phone by a text or a little notification. So one more step. So that's the MFA, the multi-factor. You need a password and you need something else. So highly recommended to set up with your banks, you know, if you log into your bank account or really anything that offers it, we can do it. These are the two main ones that we suggest. There's the Google one and there's the Microsoft one. If you go to the App Store on your phone, you you will find either one of these for free.
What if you don't use either of those?
What's that?
What if you don't use either Microsoft?
You don't have to use these. They're just a tool. There's other ones out there. I mean, but if you wanted to add that level of security, those are some of them out there. If you go to your store on your Android or whatever, you'll find one that looks really similar to Microsoft. Have you seen that, Brett?
Mhm.
Oh, Microsoft is no longer the #1 one that comes up for Authenticator.
Really?
Yeah, it's now a lookalike.
A third party?
Yeah, and we don't know who they are.
Is it malicious?
I don't know.
Okay.
It looks very similar. It's like a blue padlock. So you don't know what's out there anymore. But this is just a little bit about people ask about what about my phone? You know, should I be worried about my phone? Well, we're not trying to instill a general sense of anxiety about every device, but
You're doing a pretty good job.
yeah. Some sort of biometric to get into your phone. Everybody's got that, right? Either a thumbprint or a little code that you put in. We talked about authenticator apps for passwords. Some people, you know, they kept it on an Apple Note. Better to store them in a app on your phone that's also locked, and that's those authenticator apps. If you can stay off public Wi-Fi, it's always probably a pro. Most phones have cell coverage that goes everywhere, especially if you leave the U.S. You can, you know, maybe go to your resort Wi-Fi. Those are good and reputable, but if you're just out and about and you see a free Wi-Fi open up, I wouldn't hop on that one. And then different things for company level applications. If you're interested, there's ways to wipe your phone remotely, you know, in case someone gets it or takes it. I had a tablet stolen one time, and I was able to remote wipe that, and so it's a good feature. They all offer it these days. Now we just get into the fun because we have 3 minutes left. This was one I personally screen captured from last year, Black Friday Target, right?
Okay.
Not Target.
Not Target's
So, targetsales.shop is not target.com. And this was up, I was telling Brett, this was up from Wednesday to Sunday, the whole holiday. It probably just made so many millions. They never took it down. It did not take the red card. It was the only way I could figure out that it wasn't real. Target takes the red card. The prices were third off. They weren't shocking, but they were really good deals. So hats off to these guys from another country because they took your money and then they didn't ship you a product. So that was 2 wins for them. But so just be, you know, a good way to do this. If you find a website, you can Google the name of the website. Reputational sites are out there. They'll tell you. They'll tell you that this site was in existence for 1 day. And I was like, well, that's not a real site. Somebody spun that up real quick. So this is the other thing we wanted to talk about. Microsoft will never reach out to you that you have a virus. This one gets everyone, right? Here's how it works really quick. You go to a website is either set up to cause the problem or they've been hijacked. So you go to your favorite website, and all of a sudden your screen starts blaring at you. A voice comes on and says, you have been compromised. And then they run this little fancy image that looks like the Matrix. They got code running up and down the screen. It's really cheesy. They make it hard to close the browser. So you can't close the browser. You can, but it's a lot of work. In that case, they will say, please contact Microsoft. And they give you a number, which is very helpful. It is not Microsoft. So if we look here, never call, this is from Microsoft's website. I just took it this morning. Never call a number provided in an error message. Real Microsoft error messages never include a phone number to call. So they will never.
They don't want you calling.
They don't want you calling. So just about everybody has done this, and then they get on with you. Have you done it, Brian?
No, but of course, somebody goes there, oh gosh, here's a company that'll take my phone call.
Finally.
Yes, yeah.
Because you can't reach anybody by phone, ever.
No, they're very good at about answering. They have great customer service. And what they do is they put you on a payment plan. They used to try to like get in your PC and do stuff. They don't even do that anymore. It's very nice. They like $9 a month. We will protect you. They just get your billing account and they never they never jack it up because they want that reoccurring $10, and so they're a legitimate business. And so, just don't call them, don't give your credit card away. They do get into your PC, and then they show you things that aren't wrong and try to convince you that it is wrong, which is kind of funny, but.
So is that the one, like I just had this where it kept popping up saying Microsoft and then my, security or whatever was, it
It could have been.
expired and, I mean, it kept, I would open my computer and I'd have a whole set of all of them.
Yeah.
Finally, I had my young buddy come over and say, fix this, because I don't have Microsoft, and so.
Sure
But
sounds like it.
it was aggravating, my
Yeah.
gosh, and they didn't quit.
No.
Every day I'd have probably 20 of them at least, every
Yeah.
time I opened my computer.
It's very similar. Yep, there you go.
Wow.
But you never called, and that's the good
Oh,
thing.
no, I didn't.
All right, very good. For the business world, if you interact, we always have them call us. But the second part is good. If you think you might have revealed or shared personal financial information, change the passwords, change it for every site. That's a good reason not to have that website for multiple accounts. You got 20 accounts to change now, or 50. If they do get one account, just change the one account. So if you keep them all unique, use a program or browser, you can do that. And then just watch for identity theft, banks, credit cards after that, and be proactive. So
It is really, I had I got this spam, whatever, and within there, I never clicked on the link, but I felt like I gave them too much information, and it was my bank account. And so then I went into the bank, changed the account, changed everything affiliated with the account. What a pain. And then when you have automatic withdrawals and you're like, bouncing checks. And I thought it was BMO here. I thought it was the hacker calling me all the time. Here, BMO was trying to call me to tell me that I had something,
and you were
and I
helping them.
ignored them.
It was a loop.
I put them on a block.
They were trying to help. That's really funny. Did you see the one we had recently where the hacker got in, and all your passwords are in Chrome, right? But you need your Windows PC to show those, right, to make them visible. And the guy says, can you please put in your Windows password? And then she put in her Windows password and goes, see, all of these are open for everyone to see on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
It was so lazy. It was so lazy because he had her put in the password and she did it, and then she said, see, this is all over the internet. And then she called, she said, my passwords are all over the internet.
Which is so many, it's crazy.
Yeah, so, all right, very good, very good. Any questions? That was a warp speed.
It was warp speed, it was excellent.
Yeah, now everyone's, I'll tell you. All right, any questions before we are done?